I wonder if you'd call this me returning to proper form. Hey guys, welcome to Dorm 16. I am your host Javon, and today we're back for a brand new video. Today we're doing a big one actually. We're testing all the Resident Evil games on integrated graphics. That's right. This is primarily a low-end benchmark channel. I haven't been doing a lot of low-end benchmarks lately. You guys must have hated that. Too bad. Anyway, today we're going to be testing this on my Intel Core i3-105 with the Intel UHD 630 integrated graphics. We're running with 32 gigabytes DDR4 RAM and dual channel memory because why not? Regardless of the RAM, it ain't really gonna matter. The UHD 630 is pretty damn weak. But yeah, I wanted to start with this. I will do the Intel HD 620 depending on how positive this video does, because I know a lot of you like to see the HD 620, but it probably won't be that much different in performance. Rules of this: we will not be changing, we won't be going any lower than 600p, and we won't be using any configs to get the game to run any lower. Nothing, no mods. This is just how the game naturally runs. Let's get into the video, shall we? First up, we have Resident Evil 0 at 720p low. We were getting an average of over 40 FPS. I thought this was pretty good. This is how you can actually play this game. There's not much issues here. I believe the first few games shouldn't be hard, but as we get on with it, it's gonna be a nightmare. Now, as you can see, we're already using over 7 gigabytes of RAM. So for those of you with 4 gigabytes, RIP. But I mean, other than that, this seems to be pretty decent. Now, once again, this is why we're using dual channel memory RAM as well. It obviously will get you more performance. If you're using single channel memory, you will struggle. Let's move on. Next up, we have Resident Evil 1 HD Remaster running at, once again, over 40 FPS on average. Hell, this one's hitting over 50 at certain areas in the game. Once again, we're using over 7 gigabytes of RAM, so 4 gigabyte users, RIP. I'm joking, it will run on 4 gigabytes, but it probably won't run as well, and you may actually drop below 30 in certain situations. These games kind of require dual channel RAM to run actually decently at 720p, otherwise it's gonna struggle. But yeah, with this one, even with 8 gigabytes of RAM and dual channel, this would obviously be a smooth experience. Resident Evil 4 HD is a pain. So this one running at 10, we're actually running this one at 1080p and it's locked to 30 frames per second. We can't get 60 and it runs in slow motion if you get below 60. So we're probably gonna have to lock this one to 30 for 1080p low, and it will run without issue at 30 FPS. Obviously during some more intense areas it will dip, but I keep looking at it. Every single one of these games use over 7 gigabytes of RAM. These are the earlier ones. What's gonna happen when we get late? It's gonna suck. Resident Evil 5 is also quite old, so at 1080p low for this one, we were managing to hit over 60 FPS on average. Every single game uses over 7 gigabytes of RAM. That is wild. Even for 2009, that is wild. Regardless, this one will run very smooth here at 1080p low. You can do either 1080p low or 720p high maybe. I just did the low settings because low settings makes the most sense when you're testing on integrated graphics. But yeah, Resident Evil 5 so far, that has been about what, 5 games, 4 games that will run on an Intel UHD 630 without issue. I find that awesome. So you got some games already, guys, integrated graphics users. This is amazing. Bet you're surprised to see this one here. We're going in order of a release order at this point. Resident Evil Revelations now. Once again, at 1080p low, running at over 60 frames per second. In certain areas, may dip below into the 50s. Once again, the 7 gigabytes of RAM. That is crazy. I mean, it's literally using the exact same amount too. That's not a glitch. It's literally running about that amount. Cause trust me, it'll change as we get higher up. But yeah, this is how much this one runs as well. This was gonna be another great experience. You're in a small, secluded area. I really love Revelations, by the way. Revelations is a really good game. I love Revelations 2 even more. Probably one of the best ones for me. But yeah, this is gonna be another smooth experience here for the Intel UHD 630. I hate Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. It sucks. But at 720p low, we were hitting over 50 FPS on average. This damn game. This damn bullet sponge induced game sucks. But hey, you want to play a bullet sponge induced hell of a game? Operation Raccoon City is the game for you. I actually beat this entire game on my channel. It was a nightmare, man. But it runs, and even in combat scenarios, it will not dip below 30 frames. I imagine when we go outside, it's going to be a bit more demanding. In certain areas, you will dip below 30 here in this game, so you got to be careful with that. But yeah, it is running at over 30 here, and yeah, it's going to be a great experience. Not really. Trust me, it's going to suck. Listen, I liked Resident Evil 6, and at 720p low, once again we're getting over 40 FPS on average. That RAM is ticking up ever so slightly at 7.9 gigabytes, but other than that, it's Resident Evil 6, man. I enjoyed Resident Evil 6, okay? I know it went away from the survival horror, especially when I play Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's like, holy crap, this is a different type of game. I cannot replay Resident Evil 6 now after playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, but it was a good game at the time, and I really enjoyed playing this game until I figured out what our actual Resident Evil game was. I'm like, damn, no, this sucks. But other than that, it was great. I enjoyed it. But this one will also be playable. I used to play this on way lower end hardware back in the day. This one runs on pretty much anything, so I think they all kind of do, really, until we get further up. This is a very optimized engine for these games. I love Revelations 2, but Revelations 2 has issues. At 720p low, we are hitting over 50 FPS on average, but it has a CPU utilization issue where the CPU spikes to 100% on, it seems, 4-core systems. I mean, its CPU utilization overall, even on my 8-core, was really bad. Like, we're gonna go into another area now, and you're gonna see it dip to go to 100%. It is kind of ridiculous how this game, because this is a good game. So it's ridiculous that it's held back by such poor optimization. I don't know what they were doing for this game. Considering Revelations runs fine. Not really. Revelations has this issue too, but it's way more. Look at that. It's way worse here. No, when it hits 100%, it causes stuttering. Sucks for such a good game.
Why would the boss come here?
I don't know. Neil just does things sometimes. It's her again. It's like she's got eyes everywhere.
Oh boy, we've made it into the modern day Resident Evil, huh? Resident Evil 7 runs fine at 720p with FSR set to balance. That's right, we're using FSR now to get over 60 frames per second in these games. It's getting quite hectic. I do recommend playing this at like 60 frames though. I don't think this is the worst thing in the world. It runs fine. I know we're getting over 60 frames per second at all times. I don't feel like you should play a first person like this at 30 FPS, but I mean you could. I don't recommend it, but here, look at that RAM usage. Man, we're up there, 11 gigs now. We're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, Resident Evil isn't that bad. You can definitely play this with 8 gigabytes. I have tested this with 8 gigabytes of RAM before. Hell, I think I've tested it with 6. It runs fine. I don't necessarily consider this bad. This is great. This is a great experience. And we're almost done, and this is how this runs. Damn. Is it me or is it getting hot in here, man? Holy crap, this is getting demanding. Resident Evil 2 Remake running at 720p with FSR set to the performance. Oh my gosh. FSR performance is bad. It's bad. It looks terrible. Ah, my eyes. Blind. I can't see things. Okay. We're running at, well, we're getting about 39 FPS on average. It's not bad, but during more intense areas, it will dip below. So we are starting to struggle. We are definitely starting to struggle trying to run games at 720p. Even with upscaling, it's not holding 30 frames per second at all times. I mean, we got close to the end, didn't we? The USC 630 was holding its own for so long, but man, it's like, bruh, I'm cooked. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Anybody here?
Resident Evil 3 Remake has the exact same thing at 720p with FSR set to performance. Holy crap. This one is more blatant with the more of an open area. As you can see, it is really struggling here at 720p with FSR set to performance. I capped this one to 30 frames per second and hope for the best, but it will dip below. So you probably need to go even lower, like 600p, and then use FSR to get it stable. Like, it's not the easiest thing. I remember when I tested this on the 620, I used like 15 FPS and said, hey, it's gonna play at 15 forever now. It's not necessarily the smoothest. Trust me, there is stutters. It's not great. It's not great. Things are getting a bit demanding. Is it playable? Yes. Trust me, I've played worse.
Carlos,
But yeah, we're moving on.
See a big transmission tower? That's a substation. You'll have to circle around through an alley to your right to get there.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely.
And finally, Resident Evil Village was not playing at 600p with FSR set to balance. Is that right? We actually had to use 600p for one of these videos, and it's still too much for it at certain areas. It drops below 30. Resident Evil Village, it's 14 gigs of RAM. It runs. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. This is retesting all of the Resident Evil games on Intel UHD graphics. It took a while to do this, considering I had to do a bit of tweaking to get around the settings and whatnot. But yeah, Village is the hardest one to run, but it will run as well. Now, first person is going to be a bit better than third person, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.